All right, this is another interesting bred dog. This has been fun. There was a dog named Grand Champion Jubal that was off of Abernathy's Molly. And Jubal was bred to a bitch named Shirley, the breeding of which I don't remember, to produce McClinton's Tornado. Tornado was bred to Chinaman to produce Sweet Pea.
Doesn't look like nothing. I wish this could come into focus a little bit better. That just takes a second. There it is. Doesn't really look like anything sweet about her.
This is one, I don't know of another picture that exists of this one. This is Garner's and Middleton's Princess. Princess is 7/8 Chinaman. She's triple bred, 3 consecutive breedings of Chinaman. And she produced extremely well. She was bred to Cottingham's Champion Red Man and produced some real killers. I bred her back tight. I bred her Frisco, and I got Lady Princess, who was one of my all-time greatest producers. So you got double bred Chinaman on the top, triple bred Chinaman on the bottom. And you see all the great dogs that were produced from breeding Lady Princess and her sister, Princess Lady. And then they had a third sister we called Royal Princess. But predominantly the one that got bred the most, who was evaluated the most extremely and was found to lack nothing. That was Lady Princess. This is an interesting opportunity to show evidence of genetics. We talked recently about how this same clown who gets attention for himself by creating barely plausible alternatives to reality, and gets people all excited, and anyway, lies and rumors get started. I think I explained that he'd said that Santos couldn't be off of Spike because he didn't look like Spike. Well, he didn't look like Spike in terms of color. Yeah. But I shared that Spike had a brother named Bat who was tan, very much like Santos. Well, this is a picture. I don't even know who owns this dog, but it's already labeled. This dog is off of Chinaman to Bat Lady, and Bat Lady's off of the Bat Dog. And this dog's name is Smiley. And tell me he doesn't look like a Santos dog.
And then breeding the Santos stuff here and the Spike stuff is when we got the black and tan dogs. So it's like, if you're basing things off color, and we bred Santos blood and got black and tan dogs, now you're going to say that this black and tan dog can't be off this Santos blood because it doesn't look like Santos. Well,
there was a dozen people who were around that litter as it was born and raised. I think one of those went to Chris McLean, had the Migos dog. Mm-hmm. I guess he still got it.
Yeah, he's had a couple black and tans, I think, in his litters too.
Yeah. I don't know how much interest there would be in pictures of my adventures to Almeria, Spain. There's a fantastic guy over there named Manolo. And I'm sure there's more to his name than that, but I just know him as Manolo, and he's in this picture. I spent 3 weeks with him over there. Had a great time and really got to know him as a fine person. I left a really super well bred dog with him over there, and it was super inbred Chinaman. May have been Frisco to Lady Princess. It was something similar to that. I've got a picture of that dog behind all that mess there. But anyway, this is me and Manolo and his crew, and we're having a good time. He was a very gracious host. Let's see if I can drop this stuff. This is me and Manolo on top of one of their forts. They're in Almeria. I apologize for not remembering this guy's name, but he's also from Spain and joined us on part of that trip. Really nice guy, and that's one of the dogs that he acquired from me and took over there, and I am again deeply apologetic for not remembering his name. All right, well, that's probably not what our viewers are interested in. Me on vacation.
Well, it's interesting to see that you're not just shipping dogs places.
I have personal relationships with a lot of people around the world. Everybody from Pavel Maslowski in Poland to several people in Russia and Matsubara in Japan and Ade, if I could pronounce his last name, I'd say it, in Africa, in Nigeria. Folks all up and down Central Mexico, Central America, South America, Canada. You know, it's been a rich experience. This goes back.
Who was the Polish guy that gave you the liquor from last pig picking?
Which liquor was it?
Whatever liquor. I think it was me and you and was it Brandon Strong sat in here and got hammered.
I think that was 2 pig pickings ago.
Oh, 2 pig pickings ago.
Well, you know it's good stuff whenever you lose a year.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Let's see, who did bring that? I think that was maybe that fellow wasn't from Poland. I'll think of it in a minute.
Yeah.
And I may have some of that bottle left.
No, don't even.
Yeah, we get to the point when it didn't piddle around. It just made its point.
Tastes good.
Yeah. Okay, so I just ran into a batch of pictures from Snoody, and the reason I have these is because this was Atlas Brewer's collection, and whenever I bought his yard out, I got his pictures too, or at least some of them. And we've been talking about Spanky in several pedigrees, being the sire of Hot Lick and her littermate brother Showdown, off of Carver Scar Dog and Molly, I think. So Spanky to a bitch off of Scar. I guess Spanky to Scarlet. Okay. Spanky being Snooty to Bloody Sunday, Scarlet being off of Carver's Scar Dog, and Molly being Snooty and Bloody Sunday. And the Carver's Scar Dog was a heavy Eli male. So this is pretty pretty consistent formula that works, and the Showdown dog was a hell of a dog. Hot Lick was one we described to you that showed a picture of her after she'd put in 24 hours on a meal. I had a picture that we showed in the previous podcast. Hot Lick was her name, and she was all that. But this is a Spanky. Spanky was a two-timer. Here Spanky is with Atlas Brewer. And it was, trying to remember the guy who actually owned Spanky. Maybe I'll think of that in a minute. But yeah, that's Spanky. That's Abernathy's Molly's brother. So I got a series of pictures of Snoody. Some of them are black and white. The top one has a date on it, and that is September of '77. And I would assume that most of them are from the same era. Spanky was a highly respected dog during his day. He had 2 successful hunts and was known for being very game. Had a little more Snoody influence in him, and I think Molly produced, well, they both produced high caliber dogs of both genres, of high strength in mouth and high ability, intelligence, just good, well-rounded dogs. It was getting acquainted with the Showdown dog that put me on the trail of acquiring the Chinaman dog, just seeing the caliber that he had. Here's one more. I guess it's you can look to match up the pattern of white. I think it's probably Snoody. It also says September of '77, but he looks a little different here. You can see a little different character to the head. Is this pattern different?
Yeah, it looks like Snoody has the left side of his face and this dog has the right side of his face. It's probably just the sun or something.
Well, a lot of times pictures get flipped.
Yeah.
So if it's the same pattern but on the left side of the head, there's a very good chance that it was just flipped.
Yeah, maybe.
These pictures are from a trip to Mexico City with Jim Stinson and Sam Kennedy. Kennedy's Booger Red. Those of you who look deep into pedigrees and realize just how many wonderful bloodlines there have been from the 70s and 80s era. Sam Kennedy had some fine animals. He's deceased now, and so is Enrique. But this is me in the white shirt and Jim Stinson with the hat on, and Enrique with the balding head.
where did you say this was?
This is that's in front of Enrique Morfin's office for his factory in Mexico City. 3 more pictures of us. This one actually has Sam Kennedy in it. Sam has the striped shirt. And on the left, sitting down with a white cap on, would be Jim Stinson's son, Jesse. Couple more pictures. There's one of me and Jim, Diamond Jim Stinson, man who owned the Art Dog and Grand Champion Art, Champion Tuffy. Great fancier of the breed. I heard many stories from Enrique Morfin about his interactions with Carver, and I didn't realize that I had pictorial supporting evidence for some of the things that he said. This picture is labeled on the back from him as Camino at 20 months of age, littermate to Bolio, May 29th of 72. Show them the back as well.